everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Funny Business Podcast. Hello and welcome. Happy post-Thanksgiving to you all. It is now Black Friday, but yet we're doing another episode here. We really wouldn't consider Black Friday a holiday, but hey, some people treat it like a holiday. We're here to bring you, maybe you're on your way to a Black Friday deal with socially distanced and a mask and all that, and you're listening to a podcast, you need an hour-long drive. Well, we're here to take you on that journey, sort of your guide throughout this entire journey for you to get that PS5 or anything that's on sale. But Matt, how are you today? I know we can't really predict how Thanksgiving was, but how are you doing likewise on this recording day?
Doing wonderful. I hope no one gets in a fight on Black Friday. Please don't be that person. It's not worth it. But Thanksgiving's always good because the food is always good. Oh, and that's the best part of Thanksgiving. Other than, I mean, it's going to be a little different this year, not being with as much family and things like that. But the food is always consistent.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope that everybody yesterday took advantage of Zoom. Matt, yes. I don't know if you knew. Yeah, okay. So as long as you said yes, you know. If you did, you unfortunately missed a 40-minute time limit being removed on Thanksgiving Day. So nice of Zoom for promoting socially distant parties and gatherings and virtual gatherings in that sense. So it was great that Zoom decided to do that. But hey, we use Zoom for our podcast every week, and if it wasn't for that, who the heck knows what would happen? So
we wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be here. But Matt, let's get into some topics for today. We do have some Thanksgiving topics coming up, but obviously that kind of works with a little bit of evergreen to it. But first, let's talk about something that's pretty topical for today. What a roller coaster it was this past weekend for TikTok, my friend. Specifically for one of our TikTok stars, not like our stars, but the star of TikTok, Miss Charli D'Amelio, went to some very much so roller coaster of emotions, a glass case of emotion as put by Ron Burgundy and Anchorman. I guess to kind of give a quick synopsis of what happened, the D'Amelio family, so Charli, Dixie, and mom and dad. I completely forget the names, but yep. Heidi, I think, is the mom's name. I forget the name of the dad. Maybe Mark and Heidi.
I think it is Mark.
I think it's Mark. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with
that. Good call.
That
was
wow.
a good job.
Okay, well, we'll still find out. So they host a YouTube channel, the D'Amelio family, and they had dinner with the D'Amelios. They were bringing on a special guest. They don't know about the special guest, and they have their own chef, their private chef, make something for them. In the instance where that happened, they brought James Charles, which we'll get into in a little bit. We're having a conversation, and Chef Aaron May, who's like a Food Network star, and above all things, like
he's pretty legit.
Made this really great paella, which for those, it's like kind of a Spanish rice dish. Fabulous if you ever get a chance to try it. Matt, I guess to kind of keep it short and sweet, it seemed like both Dixie and Charli were very much so very immature with the context itself, which then kind of led to some backlash. Charli actually lost, I believe, 1 million followers in that whole instance. But Matt, I don't know if you had the chance to watch it. I took the liberty in watching it this past weekend, so I was able to talk about it, unfortunately.
I saw clips. I saw pretty much most of it.
Sure.
Do you have anything else you want to add before we get into it?
I mean, as far as like talking about it, it was cool. Like, I actually do have something about James Charles. I actually gained a lot of respect for James Charles in this video itself.
Interesting.
I was he was like very much so humble. Like, yeah, he was talking about his gain to fame, but at the same time, he kind of brought a little bit more humility to his sense of like bringing his upbringing as far as becoming a star in the digital space. Not saying that I was against James Charles, but like it just never understood James Charles until I watched the video, which was very surprising, but I want to hear your thoughts.
I don't really have too many thoughts on James Charles for this video. I thought everyone was very much overreacting to Dixie and Charli. Like way overreacted. So there were snails in the paella.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell eats snails?
Yeah. I mean, again,
like
this is not your typical mom that's making it in the kitchen. Like, this is Chef Aaron May, who's like Food Network star,
Right.
credible to that.
Yes, but they're teenagers. Like they don't really have a huge. A lot of teenagers don't have a huge palate. Like
Right.
they like simple things. And I'm 24. I wouldn't eat a snail. I'd probably gag too if I ate a snail.
Which was weird because they never. So of course the fallout happened with a bunch of things. Kind of led to again Charli losing a lot of followers on TikTok. She was close. Again, we'll talk about it. Was close to 100 million followers on TikTok. And of course, the context was she got her first million a year before. Somewhere around this time period, she hit her first million. So I think she was averaging around like 2 million every. Oh no! Wow, my bad math. Like 10 million every month, which is crazy.
Yeah, something like that.
Something along the lines of that. Of course, some are differentiated. It's never an even 10. But it just seemed like, as far as a producer aspect, like somebody who makes videos, like there was never context as far as like, oh, well, we knew that Dixie. It was more so Dixie on the snails. Charli said
Yes.
about, oh, well, I just like even numbers. And then that came from a context of, oh, well, everybody's just a number and they're not actually a person that follows Charli D'Amelio. But, they really didn't give much context that like Dixie is very much so queasy when it comes to literally anything. And I don't think they included that. And even like her mom was saying like, oh, well, you're being so dramatic, like excuse yourself. But then the cameras followed her out into this like very, very fabulous pool that they have at the D'Amelio house. But, it was a weird and awkward like video. Even James Charles was like, welcome to the first and probably the last dinner with the D'Amelios. So, very, very, very uncomfortable video to say the least.
But from a producer standpoint, like, would you just want them to sit there and be like, yeah, this is good? No, you want some entertainment. That was kind of some entertainment. I'd probably have the same reaction if I ate snails. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think, like, if you don't like something, it's hard to play it off that you do like it, especially when you're being filmed.
Well, even, I guess what I'm trying to say, Matt, is like the context. Like, maybe there could have been a cut between Chef Aaron May and saying, okay, we're going to make some Spanish paella. We're going to make some paella. We're going to add some snails because Dixie doesn't necessarily like snails. We're going to try to see if she can try them. Right. There was no context whatsoever. Like, it was straight, which, like, again, I respect the fact of the claim to fame that the D'Amelios have gained. I think just they weren't smart enough as far as, like, them giving that context because really it just made them look snippy to me.
That's fair. I think they've done some, not damage control, but they've come out and like made some statements about it that I think helped the situation. Like now that people know that Dixie is very sensitive, I feel like people kind of realized maybe it was an overreaction. But I do think you're right. Maybe like giving a little context would have been a little better. Well, for Charli though,
yeah.
Okay, no, go ahead.
It just goes with, I don't really want to express a true opinion, but I'll just put it out there because this is the Funny Business Podcast. It's our podcast. I can make my own damn opinion. Like, taking the D'Amelio family, no one has gone in an undergraduate degree or even schooling wise to do the stuff that they're currently doing now. And, for me, I would kind of stand out there and be like, well, like, maybe we need to add some context. Like, really, the focus of that whole entire dinner was them. And granted, you had a private chef that obviously is really, really famous. And, like, even himself, like, even came out, was like, I love the D'Amelio family. Like, we've been friends even before this all happened. Like, I feel horrible in the sense that this is happening. So even with, I'll just jump right into it. So even with the million lost followers, Charli came out and Instagram Live. I tried watching some of it. I couldn't see it live itself, but I know some people re-uploaded it to YouTube. Yeah. And there was so many times, like there was a time where she almost went down to a breakdown. Not in a sense of negative, but like was almost in tears because people were literally threatening her life and was bullying her, straight up, downright bullying her. That, as she said, I believe, she's just a human being, and yet you are really ridiculing me of being that. But Matt, I feel like, and I'll get your opinion in a hot second, but maybe there's that context that, you're at the highest peak of the mountain, there's going to be people that are going to try to knock you off. And, that's the same. I'll use an example like Ninja. Ninja's probably one of the most well-recognized streamers in the game, and yet people try to knock him off all the time on social media. So, yes, I think there's only context because she is not of age of 18. That's why, like, the whole 16-year-old thing is kind of like a very wishy-washy thing, but I don't know if you have any opinion on that.
So I'm very much on Charlie's side on this.
Oh, me too. I have to admit that.
Good. So here's the thing. So she hit 1 million.
Right.
She wanted to get. What person wouldn't want 100 million? Like she never said in the video that she's ungrateful and doesn't care about her fans.
Right.
All she said was that it would be nice to hit 100 million, which I think we could all agree would be nice to hit 100 million.
Right.
Especially, like she said, it would be cool to hit 1 million 1 year and then a year later have 100 million. That's an awesome achievement. Like I don't think anyone on any platform can actually say that.
No.
Am I right?
No, yeah. You're right.
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 And then I just like she's 16. People need to like chill. Like she's still learning how to handle all this. Like just because she has now 100 million followers on TikTok doesn't mean she's an expert on how to handle every PR situation. Like she's still young. She's still learning. She's a star, so it'll be fine. And people just need to relax. Like people get weird with celebrities.
Very weird.
Like they get super attached, which like I like celebrities too, but like at the end of the day, they are still people. Like just because they have so many followers on social media or they do whatever they do for a living doesn't make them different from anyone else. They still have emotions like all of us.
Right.
Like I'm never a fan of people taking something context from social media and like judging someone based on that. Like if it's something that they say, yes, but if you're making judgments on something they didn't actually say, that's where I draw a line with.
Right. No, and I think you're right. And even to just follow up with the story, Charli kind of was like, okay, I'm just going to post normal content because that's what it is. And oddly enough, before we even started recording, she did hit 1 million followers on TikTok. And Matt putting out some statistics, obviously she is the first TikTok star with 100 million followers on TikTok. The second person that's following behind her is Addison Rae with 68 million followers, and then Zach King with 52. Now, come on. That is something to be
impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive. But, Matt, I kind of dug a little bit and wanted to kind of quiz you on your knowledge. I don't want to make this a trivia or a game show.
No.
But what I did was I pulled from my favorite app or social media, which is Instagram. I did take this from Wikipedia. I will vouch for the fact that this may not be as accurate as it is, but I did need a list. I pulled 22 Instagram accounts that have at least hit 100 million followers. Would you be able to name me some?
All right, give me a number you want me to hit.
I don't care. I mean, there's 20. I kind of gave you a nice wide range. So there's 22. There's 22 accounts that currently has over or at least hit that $100 million mark. $100 million follower mark
on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Okay. Kim Kardashian's one.
Let me just make sure. Yep. Kim is at number 7 with 192 million followers.
Jeez. Wow. I'm drawing blanks. LeBron? I don't think so.
LeBron is not in this list.
Okay. Wow. I honestly, this is tough. Yeah, this is tough. Kanye.
Kanye, I'm looking here. Kanye is not on this list.
Drake.
I was like
Drake's
scrolling through. Drake is not on this list.
Damn. I only have one? Wow.
I think you're thinking way too hard, man.
Am I?
A little bit.
Matthew McConaughey.
No.
Oh.
He just started Instagram.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that. Oh man. Is it more like actresses, athletes? What do we got here?
You have musicians, athletes, and television personality / comedians, actresses, whatnot.
All right, I'm going to throw an athlete out there.
Okay.
Ronaldo.
Yep, Ronaldo is at number 2 with 242
Holy
million
crap.
followers.
Yikes. I'll throw another soccer guy out there. I don't know if he even has Instagram. Messi.
Messi is at 169 million, 169 million followers.
Nice. Wow.
Do you know the number 1?
Oh, I have another one.
Okay.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift is at number 14 with 140
okay, thank
million.
God. I would have been angry. Beyonce.
Beyonce is at 156 million.
Jay-Z.
Sorry, guys. No, he's not on here.
No. Ooh.
All right. Do you want me to run him through?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1, Instagram, 378 million followers. You did Cristiano Ronaldo, 242. Ariana Grande with 207 million. Dwayne The Rock Johnson with 204 million. Kylie Jenner with 201 million. Selena Gomez with 195 million. Kim Kardashian, as you said, 192. Lionel Messi, 169. Beyonce, 156. Jay Biebs, 151. National Geographic, 146.
What?
Neymar, who is obviously a soccer player, 143. Kendall Jenner with 142.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift with 140. J-Lo with 133.
Okay.
Nicki Minaj with 124. Khloe Kardashian with 123. Nike at 122. Miley Cyrus at 116.
Damn.
Katy Perry at 108.
I was going to say Katy Perry.
Kourtney Kardashian at 103. Yep. And last but certainly not least, Kevin Hart with just cracking 100 million followers.
Ooh. Who is number 1, did you say?
Instagram.
Oh.
Like the Instagram.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I had some easy misses on there.
You did. I was like, man, I was like, you're thinking too much.
I couldn't think of names. I had a blank thought in my head. Just nothing was coming into my mind.
But all in all, I think both of us are on Charli's side. We are very happy that she hit 100 million followers on TikTok. I think any fame comes with an uncertainty of negative feedback as well as positive feedback. So again, I think we're just very happy that she actually pushed through and was resilient enough to actually make through it, because she did say at one point she may not want to do this app anymore. And
did you see the first post he made after she hit 100 million?
She hit the renegade.
Yeah. Well, no, the one before that.
Oh, meaning that like
she donated. TikTok is now donating like
100,000
grand, 100,000 grand to. It's like a dance nonprofit, something like that, which was really cool.
Yeah, I really didn't count those posts. I counted the ones that she danced to, and she did the renegade.
Yes, and then I think it's safe to say we are a pro Charli D'Amelio podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of pro, Matt, we're going to move on to our next segment. Yes, we did say that it is a post-Thanksgiving podcast, but I feel like we should be talking about Thanksgiving because you can sit back and be like, you know what? That should have happened. Or maybe next year when it's safe to do it. So
yes.
Matt and I were kind of chit-chatting about a Thanksgiving podcast, and we wanted to come up with Thanksgiving sides you must have as part of the buffet line or spread, or we can just include food, because what's the point of Thanksgiving if there's no food to talk about?
Exactly.
We do want to make a note of this. Both Matt and I are actually staying at, quote, our immediate family's houses as far as Thanksgiving. So we will be celebrating that. We will not be traveling during this Thanksgiving. But for those of you who are, alone or whatnot, it's, we're here. Even though it's the day after, but we are here. If you want to reach out and just let us know, we can certainly grab a Zoom call with you. We can talk about, can even host you on a guest on the show for all we know.
Absolutely.
But Matt, let's talk about some sides or just food in general about
because the side dishes really make Thanksgiving.
They do.
I like turkey, don't get me wrong, but that's not the best thing you eat on Thanksgiving.
I do have to ask you, Matt.
Okay.
Does your turkey get smoked on Thanksgiving?
No.
Oh.
No,
so
we just put it in the oven.
My dear grandpa smokes our Thanksgiving turkey.
That does sound awesome.
That is the best.
Yeah, it does sound good.
I'm going to miss it, but he literally has a smoker outside and smokes a Thanksgiving turkey. Damn. I literally in first grade You know those like? Do you remember like way back when like TBT, like Throwback Thursday? There was these like in first grade, you had these like big gigantic lines that you were able to write on, and you had to like certainly like hit like the dotted lines and like the top lines. But then at the top there was like a blank space for you to draw a picture. I drew a picture of a turkey on like the plaid red and white like tabletop. And I wrote about my grandpa's Thanksgiving turkey in first grade. It was so
awesome.
good.
That's awesome.
He actually framed it, and it's down by his office.
Ah, that's pretty cool.
Still to this day.
Smoked turkey's got to be awesome.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss it. But anyway, yes, the sides. The sides are the most like it makes your plate on top of the turkey. So
Absolutely.
Matt, go ahead. I'm ready to hear your first take.
So I'm gonna go with two staples.
Okay.
These are not. If I was making a list, like a top 5, they'd be like 5 and 4. Corn, gotta have corn on Thanksgiving.
I feel like corn is like one of those things that like you don't eat on like a regular basis, but like Thanksgiving, like it's kind of like you have to.
Oh, I love corn.
I love corn.
We eat corn a lot actually, but you have to have corn, and then mashed potatoes. Gotta have mashed potatoes. But they would be number 4 on my list.
Oh my god. Sorry. Part of my take here, but I love mashed potatoes.
Yes, they're
like,
but like I also like you do eat mashed potatoes throughout the year, so I don't eat a lot of mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving.
Listen, I don't care. I love mashed potatoes. You ask Jenna. Jenna took me on the Spirit of Philadelphia for my birthday back in December of last year. And literally there was this plate of there's this buffet of mashed potatoes. And I'm like, Jenna, I said, don't judge me. I'm going for 2 plates. Because there's mashed potatoes. These things were immaculate. Like, oh my, I love mashed potatoes. Like, I can't, I just love mashed potatoes. But yeah,
mashed potatoes with some beef gravy.
I actually don't put gravy on my mashed potatoes. Believe it or not.
What?
I don't.
You don't put. That's a psychopath move.
And they're gonna tell me that's a sin. It's like, no, it's not.
What?
No, I don't.
Excuse me? Who?
Okay, so I think it's where you live type of deal. I don't put now. Fun fact: I've never tried it. So I've never.
Oh, you gotta try it.
Gravy on it, which in fact I might have to since saying
it's a game,
on this podcast.
It's a game changer. Game changer. I only eat mashed potatoes with gravy. I'll let you throw some out because I think I have. Well, I don't think I have some weird ones at the top, but
so I'm trying to think. Last year I had the pleasure of going to the Reed family for Thanksgiving, and there was 2 staples down in that area, and it's losing. It's like not mashed potatoes, and it's not. Is it stuffing?
Stuffing?
I don't know.
Stuffing or filling?
Filling. Potato filling.
It's
potato
about the
filling.
same.
That's what
Potato
it is.
filling.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe it is. God, Jenna's going to kill me.
I
I'm
don't
sorry,
know.
Jenna.
Stuffing, speaking of stuffing is phenomenal.
See, I feel like my grandparents' Thanksgiving, we've never had that.
Oh.
But a lot of it, I'm always good with like the breads. So like banana bread or, any type of bread that's made. I usually just snag the banana bread because that's my thing. But, having that, like that's pretty good as well.
Yeah, the stuffing's got to be. I like wet stuffing better than dry stuffing.
Okay.
Wet stuffing, also with a little bit of gravy.
Right.
Oh, I like that better than mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving.
Gotcha. What else do you think?
How do we feel about mac and cheese on Thanksgiving?
Oh, dude, mac and cheese is good for any occasion.
Yes, it is. But like you gotta have baked mac and cheese with like breadcrumbs for Thanksgiving. Like you can't make like Kraft.
Easy mac.
Yeah, you can't make Kraft on mac and cheese. That's it on Thanksgiving. That doesn't work.
I can confirm it is potato filling because literally the first thing is called Pennsylvania Dutch potato filling, and I'm like, yes, that is it.
I don't know if I've ever had potato. Is that different from like regular stuffing?
Yeah, it's God. I'm like, it's gonna be horrible because I just had it last year for the first time. I would say it's a mix between mashed potatoes and like that's what they told me. They're like, it's mashed potatoes, but there's a bunch of stuff in it and mixed in it.
Oh,
so
I think I'd like that.
Yeah, I'm like, I do have to give an honorable mention if we're throwing out more things. An honorable mention goes to my mom's buffalo chicken dip at Thanksgiving.
Okay.
We do make buffalo chicken dip. Oh my goodness. It literally is gone by the time it's the end of the day. Like not my poor mom, but like thankfully my mom doesn't have to wash the crock pot because everybody just cleans it. So you don't have to worry about extras at the end.
Yep. That's a good choice. That's a good choice. Always good. How do we feel about, I'm not huge on this, but cranberry sauce?
It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
same. I don't really eat it. My number one Thanksgiving side dish. You ready for this?
I'm ready for it.
Green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole.
Number one. Phenomenal. I just recently, like a few years ago, discovered green bean casserole.
Okay.
It is top notch.
Interesting. I'm not I love green beans. Like if it's green beans, like
yes.
I'm definitely able to put it on my plate. I think out of both Matt and I'm the pickier of eaters here.
Probably.
But I think ideally, like as long as I have my turkey, my mashed potatoes, my corn, like I'm kind of set. And if there's anything that I kind of want to throw on top of it, like I'm okay with that. But ideally for that, cranberry sauce is not a big thing.
Yeah, it's not my thing. Now, are you a light meat or a dark meat kind of guy?
I can flip flop. Like I'm okay with both.
I prefer dark meat, but I can do light meat. Mm-hmm. If I do get light meat, I do need more gravy.
It's so nice the day after for leftovers. You have a bunch of turkey at the end of the day, and you can literally turn it into a sandwich, and you're like, yes,
it's the best. It is the best.
Well, Matt, while we're grabbing our plates, we're sitting down around the table when it was obviously appropriate. There is some conversations that come up. Maybe you haven't seen your family in a long time, maybe a year since obviously last Thanksgiving. But kind of a fun last topic for today. Would love to hear our thoughts and our ideas as Thanksgiving conversations you should have. Wrong answers only.
Yeah.
I'm going to just throw it out there, the first part. Politics should not be on the table as for anything. I feel like that just breaks up the table no matter what the situation is.
I mean, it shouldn't, but it unfortunately does. And then
somehow
it goes off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Wrong answers only. I mean, you could get into like medical stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
that rash going on.
Yeah, how's that? Did that cream work that I gave you last weekend? How's it looking? That's just an awkward conversation to have. It's an awkward anytime, but especially on Thanksgiving, it's just you don't want to have that.
How about like I don't want to say relationship woes, but I mean that's like the biggest thing. Like I feel like anybody for Thanksgiving who's single, they're like, oh, like how come you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend yet? And you're kind of like, why are we talking about this?
Right. Or even if you do, it's like, hey, did you guys get over that fight from a few weeks ago?
Oh.
Yeah, you don't want to bring that up right now, Grandma.
What about like mistakenly like ex-girlfriends? Like somebody mentions at the dinner, like at the table, like, oh, like how's so and so doing? You're kind of like,
that's a good one. That would be awkward. Yeah. Maybe talking about like how drunk you got last night on Thanksgiving Eve.
Oh
not
my
really
God.
Not really applicable for this year.
Yeah, which is so for those who aren't listening in the Pennsylvania area, which makes sense. I guess this is another dinner conversation. It does make sense. They suspended purchasing of liquor and alcohol starting the day before Thanksgiving at 5:00 and ending that pause on Thursday at 8 a.m. Because let's be honest here. The night before Thanksgiving is like the number one thing to do is go out to a bar and then see everybody you went to high school with or that you knew from your hometown.
Yes. I've actually never gone out Thanksgiving Eve.
I did the first time last year.
I do know people love it. So it does make sense to put that in. But you don't want to have that conversation with your uncle like, so how drunk you'd get last night? Like, how much Motrin have you taken this morning? Throwing it in with that. Now, I don't think either of us have this happen to. But for people that do enjoy this, you don't want your aunt and uncle asking how your walk went.
How your walk went?
Yeah, when you and your cousin go for a walk. Go for a walk. Again, I've never done this, but I know people do that, and that's probably not a conversation that you want to have with your mom.
What's another one? Oh, I'm like just trying to think of these like.
I mean, just like embarrassing stories.
Oh yeah,
like if you're just
stories,
like
period.
Yes, any embarrassing stories or some awkward situations that you have when you grow up. I feel like, what else could be an interesting one? If you're like a freshman, sophomore in college, and like your aunt's asking you like how much you party in college.
Yeah.
I don't think that's.
Have you been asked that?
I feel like I probably have.
Right.
But it's a little awkward if you're not super close with your aunt and uncle.
I feel
if
like
you see them only on Thanksgiving and the first thing they ask you is how's college partying going.
I feel like that is a question like for our age. Like Matt, I'm not 100% sure. Do you have relatives that are like college age or about to be college age? Like maybe like latter high school, early college. Yep. I always feel like as somebody who is only a couple years out of college, like I always want to ask the cousins that like just started college. You're like, so
I do that too. It's just awkward when like,
mom and dad,
mom and dad, or like your aunt and uncle you see 3 times a year, and they're like, so you get drunk every night? I was like, well, yes, but I'm not going to tell you that.
I was going to throw like an example random aunt, but I thought if one of your aunts for some reason, like, whoa, we'll keep it for the year. I was like, that's a great aunt name. And I was like, nope. I was like, that's actually an aunt for Matt. So.
She's the best.
She is the best. What about like, I mean, this is something that's coming up for the both of us, but like debt. How's your debt paying off?
Yeah. How much loans do you have left? Yeah. How many more years you got? What's your interest rate? Like, I don't know this answer.
No, I'm
just trying to eat some turkey.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that the thing at the top of the list is like medical is like the biggest thing. And then like just like relationships / like life things.
Yeah, if you're doing some Zooms, try not to talk about COVID 24/7. It does suck, but there is some other things you can talk about. Just catch up with family, make sure they're doing okay, make sure they're stocked up on beer and alcohol and food and all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. And the best benefit is making sure that you have somebody who's the host that knows how to use Zoom well, because if some family member goes out of range, you can just mute them. Yep. Which is one thing you can't do at the dinner table on a traditional way.
No, this could be a game changer. Mute button on Thanksgiving dinner is interesting.
You would be so ready for it. So, but if you did celebrate Thanksgiving on Thursday, we hope it was a good one. You tried making the best of it. Hopefully
there's still a lot of things to be thankful for in 2020.
Matt, I'm thankful for you.
I am too, buddy.
Really?
Sure.
That took a while. All I could think about is the SpongeBob so what do you think? Wish I could live there. Really? No. No, man, it's good. I feel like every time I talk to somebody who I haven't talked to, they're like, oh, like, what have you been up to? It's like, just running the podcast with Matt every week.
It's a good conversation starter.
Yeah, it's a great conversation starter. And like,
it really is.
Let's be honest, last night we were playing some Rocket League and we had somebody come on the show and they were just like, how's the podcast? And I'm like, honestly, like, it's great. Like, to hang out with Matt.
It's a GT.
A GT. I have not said that in a while.
I know. We got to bring that back.
A good time. So, entertainment topics were a great GT. Wow, a great time. Got to get used to saying it again.
Yes, we'll get back in the flow of it.
But when we come back, let's try to rewind that a little bit. When we come back, Matt has his sports topics. You don't want to miss it. Matt, I got to tell you, I am so happy we're continuing to make more episodes for our podcast.
You're so right, Mike. I really am enjoying hearing how awesome each episode is every week from everyone. It's so easy to do.
It is so easy. And we have Anchor, our sponsor for this episode, to thank for. Anchor is free to anyone that wants to start a podcast. It's easy for beginners with the creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also helps distribute our podcast so our listeners can tune in to their platform of choice, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more.
And Mike, I gotta tell you, I was skeptical before, but we actually are making a profit off this podcast. We are still a small podcast, but it's nice to see the progress we have made with each episode with that money.
Yes, we are making it rain. Kind of. Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm.
And who knows, you may start a podcast with your best friend.
That's right. Roommates for life.
Okay, let's slide into the sports segments for today. As you know, we always do Thursday night football predictions, and since this week was Thanksgiving, we do have three. So I'm just gonna give you all three. One last week. Don't ask me what my record is because I don't even know what week we're on. The games kind of sucked this year, so we have Texans Lions as the first game. This is going to be that game where you're going to watch, but like if you do like a Thanksgiving dinner, you're going to be preparing for dinner and not really watching the game as much. I will say, geez, I don't know. I'm going to say the Texans win 24-17. Second game, we got the Washington football team and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this one looks bad on paper. However, the NFC East is so bad, all three teams of the division have 3 wins. So there's a scenario where the winner of this division has 5 wins. So this is a huge game. I will say I don't know, Dallas Cowboys will win 24-21.
Okay.
And then the nightcap, Ravens at the Steelers. The Stillers. 10-0, baby.
10-0.
Ravens are playing pretty bad, so I'm going to say Steelers. I will say 31-23. I think it'll be a close game.
Okay.
So we'll go with that.
I like that.
Let's stick with some NFL real quick. So the NFL Super Bowl has made some news. So the Super Bowl is in Tampa Bay this season. And this is going to be unique Super Bowl, as every sporting event's pretty unique right now. I believe they're planning on having 20% of the capacity filled for the game as of this moment. They also announced that they have a partnership with Visa to make this Super Bowl cashless. Okay. So it means that attendees will not be able to pay with cash. They have to use either a card, or if they come to the game with cash, they will have like what they call reverse ATMs.
Okay.
And you can get gift cards up to $500 to spend within the stadium. So this is something that's obviously very unique, and it's the first sporting event that's going to do it. It's something that they've been working on for a while, and it might not just be this Super Bowl because of COVID. I think the plan is to hopefully have this be the future going forward, which I kind of like in a sense. I don't know what your thoughts are on it.
I have like seen this forthcoming in the sense, like just because of COVID, like anytime we do takeout or anything like that, like they hope that you can pay like by card over the phone, or it's an online order and you pay already within your phone or within your debit card itself. I think this is fabulous because let's just say, for instance, you can add on top of that as far as like concession stand. So let's just say, for instance, I know like I remember I went to Yankee Stadium way back when, before actually the old stadium, and we actually had like a waiter stop by and ask what we wanted to have. Like you could practically get more jobs and have food runners. Yeah. Food runners at concession stands. So A, you're limiting the amount of people that are waiting in line, and B, you're creating more jobs, and C, you're kind of streamlining the process in which A, you're getting business because it's all online, it's all transactional, it's all cashless, and it's coming out the way. And I do like the reverse ATMs. I found that amazing. Like once you said that was, you literally put in cash to get a card coming out. So I think the only thing to look at is just how you can handle those cards as far as environmentally friendly ideas. Right. Let's just say you're down to like, it's like a cash out voucher at a casino way back when we were allowed to go to one safely. Like you end up with like 2 cents on your voucher, or you end up 2 cents on your card. Do you keep it? Do you get rid of it? Like there's so many things, and like, is it losing money? It's going to gain money, or but I do have to say I am all for this scenario within the cashless Super Bowl, especially because the Weeknd's performing there.
Yes, that's true. They did announce the Weeknd. I think he'll do a pretty good job. It says in this article that's on NBC News, Visa did a study, and they found that at live events, people spend 25% more when they use contactless payments.
Makes sense.
Which is pretty. Yeah, I mean, Paying with a card is so much easier. Like since COVID started, like if I ever go to like Wawa or something, or basically anything I've paid for it has been with my card, just because a lot of people don't want to touch cash right now.
I've even gone to the point of paying with my Apple Pay. Like,
Yeah, I
putting
just
my phone
I
to
just set up Apple Pay.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah, it is pretty good. I haven't used it yet, but like it seems convenient.
I think for the first time in a couple months, my wallet was actually filled up with cash because I did a photo shoot and people paid me in cash, and I'm like, wow, it's like my wallet feels a little thicker. Like, and it was
little
like
thick.
just like a little thick. Like there was like a couple of dollar bills, not like dollars, but like a 20 and like a couple other 20s, and I'm like, this feels thick. For like, I actually like take it out of my pocket and put it on my office desk, and I'm like, this, what the heck? Like, so it's the difference.
Yes, I have seen people online be the take like, well, like some people don't like paying with card and that stuff, but also let's be real. It's 2020. Get used to it.
Right.
If you can afford a ticket to the Super Bowl, I feel like you're okay paying without cash.
Do you really think people go to the stadium of the Super Bowl and pay up front cash, or do you think they pay online? Like, come on.
Exactly. It's not that hard. Like, no. And people are not going to not go to the Super Bowl because they can't pay in cash.
Right.
Get over it. I have another NFL topic for us. We haven't talked about the NFL in a while. There was news about the New York Giants. So the rookie head coach, Joe Judge, reportedly fired an assistant coach. His name was Mark Colombo. So he was the offensive line coach, I believe. And they had a little altercation. There was rumors that they got in a fist fight. And after the fist fight, he fired Colombo. Reports then came out and said they did not get in a fist fight. I don't like, people are giving him a lot of flack for being like a first year head coach and like already firing someone. I feel like this is kind of a good sign. Like the team's kind of they're 3-8, like they're 3-7. They do suck while they do have a still chance to win the division. But I do kind of like a rookie head coach like still fighting for his team when they're having a rough year.
I think anytime a fight gets physical, I feel like there's just enough buildup of emotions that wasn't necessarily presented. And that could be a management issue on top of that. I know I'm kind of going like totally like, oh, where's your direction on that? But like, I just feel like anytime any fight or any conversation gets physical, I feel like it's just such a buildup, and there hasn't been any transparency between any of the management. I'll just say it like plainly like that. That has been able to give out some criticism or give out some feedback based on that. So
Joe Judge is an interesting guy too, because he's very much an old school football coach. I believe in training camp he made his coaches like pass like the players have to pass like a training test in order to get to practice.
Okay.
He made the coaches do that too. Like the coaches were running like 40-yard dashes to like get in shape for the season. It's crazy. But the reason I brought this up, some people were debating online like of people they could take in a fight, like NFL coaches. So I thought if we had any thoughts of athletes we could beat in a fight. Now, I know we said a few episodes back that we can't even throw a punch, but in the heat of the moment, I think we'll be able to throw a punch. Any athlete, I have 3 guys written down. Do you have any athlete you think you could take in a fight?
this means no disrespect, but I feel like I could beat the crap out of Steph Curry.
Whoa. Okay. That's not... I didn't think of that. That's not a bad pick.
Now, for him, basketball, he'd probably kick the crap out of me, but I feel like if I was able to throw a punch, like, the babyface assassin, like, would get baby-faced up and, like, black-eyed, if you know what I mean.
That's not a bad pick, because, like, he's not super athletic.
Yeah, he
like,
just shoots well.
Exactly. And he's got bad ankles, so you can use that to your advantage.
Kick him in the ankles.
I have 3 things. Go ahead.
I have to say, I'm excited to hear your 3 picks because you thought a lot about this topic when you told me about it. You told me about this last week before, I think even the day after we had our last podcast. So,
yep. So I have 2 basketball guys.
Okay.
Let me throw this out there first. Any punter in the NFL not named Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee is excluded. Pat McAfee would obliterate me. If you don't let the punters use their legs, it's an easy clap.
Oh, yeah. Easy clap.
Easy clap. I could take any punter in the NFL. I have 2 basketball guys.
Okay, I'm
I
ready
think
to
you're
hear
going to
this.
like both of them.
Oh, is it Draymond Green? Because I'm
No.
ready for it. Oh, darn.
Total opposite. Matthew Dellavedova. I could take my only problem with Dellavedova, he's Australian.
Mm-hmm.
That throws me off a little bit because maybe he would have some tricks up his sleeve. But if you look at Matthew Dellavedova, kind of has like a punchable face, as does this next guy.
Oh, no.
Kyle Korver.
Oh, I like Kyle.
I do too, but I think I could take him in a fight. It's kind of like that shooter, like 3-point shooter, not super athletic.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the problem is all these guys are 6 feet and above, and I'm rocking at 5'9". But I think between Dellavedova and Korver, I'd rather fight Korver.
I hate to say it because I know how much I like to make fun of you about this person, but I feel like I could also beat up Alex Caruso.
The bald mamba? Are you kidding me?
Bald Mamba.
Caruso wouldn't stand a chance. Now, is there an athlete that if we tag teamed, we couldn't take him one-on-one?
Draymond Green.
Draymond? I don't know. I think Draymond would kick her ass in like 5 seconds.
He'd be too dumb to not recognize it's a 2v1 scenario and just kick him in the legs.
I think he would kick our ass. Yeah.
Do you have somebody in mind?
Of like a tag team?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like what about James Harden?
Yeah.
He doesn't play defense. I think we could.
He doesn't play defense.
Doesn't play defense.
So he's
not
going to
throw his hands up. He's just going to be going for haymakers constantly, and we're just going to sneak attack, sucker punch, uppercut,
kick him in the shin.
Yeah, exactly. That went better than I thought, but in reality, we can't beat the shit out of it.
We can't.
Let's talk a little bit of NBA news. So free agency was this past week. Suns did not make a big signing, but we did get Jay Crowder at a decent contract, 3 years, $30 million. So he's getting $10 million a year. I'm trying to have this conversation with people. The Phoenix Suns are the 3rd best team in the West. They have the chance to make the Western Conference Finals.
I will not disagree with you because I hate to say it, you have the Lakers in first.
Oh, the Lakers. We'll get to the Lakers.
You'll get the Lakers?
We'll get to the Lakers.
Oh,
the podcast.
Meaning like
yes,
I was
we're
like,
gonna talk about
you're gonna get at them? Like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, they're cheating. We'll get to there.
Yeah, you have the Lakers.
Clippers are probably 2.
Clippers, they have their woes at the moment right now, but I feel like they're gonna be okay.
Yep. And then Denver got worse. Denver lost a lot of guys. Utah didn't get much better. Houston is a hot mess. Golden State lost Klay. If Klay Thompson was healthy, they'd be 3. And then Portland, Portland's I'm very excited as a Suns fan. Gordon Hayward got paid.
That's
4 years, $120 million.
That's
Gordon Hayward got paid. Michael Jordan is so bad at being an owner. How do you give Gordon Hayward $30 million a year?
I don't know, man. Do
you think it's bad?
Do I think it's bad?
Like, is the contract bad?
I mean, what was he getting paid with the Celtics beforehand?
He declined a player option for $34 million a year,
and he's getting it now for. Sorry, I just like.
He's getting $30 million a year.
$30 million.
I wouldn't pay him 20.
Yeah, well, he was injured half the season, so like
he's very injury prone.
You got to prove yourself, man. You got to throw yourself in the. What do you call it?
There was a stat that this just shows how much basketball players got paid compared to football. At the end of Gordon Hayward's age 33 season, he's gonna make like $325 million in his career.
That's crazy.
At the end of Tom Brady's age 44 season, he's gonna make like $285 million. That's ridiculous. Like, NFL needs to get their shit together in that sense.
Yeah.
We should also mention LaMelo got drafted by the Hornets.
He did.
So we have a real possibility that we get a LeVar Ball versus Michael Jordan one-on-one match. That would be 21 zip. 21 zip. Do you actually think LeVar would score a point?
No.
No. He'd get washed. Um, the other thing I saw online, someone said that MJ spent all his gambling money on Gordon Hayward.
That's bad.
It's bad, but it's funny. And then the Lakers are cheating. They're just cheating.
Why?
Did you see how much better they got? They convinced Montrezl Harrell he could have gotten close to a max contract, and they get him for 2 years, $19 million as the sixth man of the year. And then not only do they get that, they traded for Dennis Schroeder, who was the second place runner up of sixth man of the year. And then they get Marc Gasol, they get Wes Matthews. Anthony Davis hasn't even re-signed yet, and he's going to re-sign. Who's going to compete with them in the West?
Hey, it's the Lake Show. It's where it's at.
Like they're easily going to win the title. I don't even think it's close.
I mean, we also have to keep in mind too. It's the compressed, somewhat compressed schedule of the NBA season. So, I mean, anything could happen. Here we are with the last season, the bubble season. I mean, it's bubble 2.0, but it's bubble 1.0. Right. Your Suns were completely killing it until playoffs, and like that. That's not saying it's very unheard of, but like,
well, it was unheard of.
It was.
That's a fact.
Like, you guys shouldn't have gotten at least close to the chance as being a team. No offense, but
you are wrong.
And we were expecting Clippers, and Clippers lost, and all this stuff. So I can't really say that I'm gonna put money on the Lakers, but hey, if LeBron, hey, listen, I saw LeBron working out today. He's jamming to some 2 Chainz. So
he hasn't stopped working out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
A lot of guys haven't stopped working out, actually. It's been pretty impressive.
It was the first time I saw him working out, like not publicly, but like he put it on his Snapchat. I mean, Instagram story. So
right, as he always does, because he's a narcissist.
He dances too.
He needs to bring back Taco Tuesday, by the way.
Oh my gosh,
we haven't had Taco Tuesday in like 8 months
since started quarantine.
Yeah. The last topic we have for today is a fun one. So last week or a few days ago was the, I believe, 16th year anniversary of the Malice at the Palace. Now, for those of you who don't know, Malice at the Palace was the infamous game, between the Indiana Pacers and the Detroit Pistons, where the players got into a fight right at the end of the game. And then Ron Artest famously jumped in the stands and started punching a fan, and more players got in the stands and fans got on the court. It was a huge mess.
It was
one of the Malice at the Palace, one of the worst nights for the NBA, but also one of the most iconic nights in sports. And it's kind of cool now that we have Twitter and the internet. People are starting to get, we always see the video every year of the incident, and people that were at the game are starting to get interviewed. And it made me wonder of sporting events that we wish happened while we had Twitter and the internet. So I'm talking like events from like 2010 and earlier.
Okay.
Like mostly Twitter, because Twitter is just buzzing when something big happens in sports. So I have a huge list, but I will throw it to you. Any sporting events that you wish Twitter was around for.
So just to clarify, like iconic moments.
Yes. Yep. So like big things that happened that Twitter would have been buzzing for.
This may be on your list. I'm sure it's on your list.
I have a huge one, so probably.
I'll keep it generic, but specifically, so like anything with Michael Jordan, like any defining career moments with Michael Jordan. More specifically, the last shot that basically captured his last title with the Chicago Bulls, and just the iconic jump shot with the Jazz. Could you imagine how many angles you'd be able to get with everybody's phones out, getting ready for the shot? And it just, I do have to say with this topic, Matt, like it's perfect the way that it is, just because of the situation. Like there wasn't Twitter to like throw around or anything like that. I mean, we would have never, if we didn't have social media, we would have never had the coactus from when Toronto won or anything like that.
We need to bring that guy back for an interview.
But just the simplest of things, like it was just probably so cool. I would love to just be there, like be in the moment. And like at the time, like that was the moment to be a part of, like be a part of Michael Jordan's last shot of his quote NBA career with the Chicago Bulls. So, I would say anything with the epitome of Michael Jordan, just working with his career, but more specifically, his last shot.
Yeah. I also had the MJ flu game.
Yes.
Would have been epic. And then his first retirement / his I'm back press release.
Yeah.
Like, I think we talked about this
God.
during The Last Dance. If he would have just tweeted, I'm back. I think it would have been the most liked tweet of all time. Easily. Do you have any other before I get into my list?
I would have loved to see anything with Babe Ruth. Like, you and I being a Yankees fan, like,
Yeah.
we always see the same iconic, like, 6 camera shots of Babe Ruth hitting a home run, but we never saw the true, like, presence of Babe Ruth. Like, we only saw him swinging the ball and running around, but, like, we see all these players now running through the tunnel or anything like that and, like, heckling with fans or whatnot. But just to see Babe Ruth and, like, how he was as a player, like, I'd love to see just his interactions with the fans, if he had any with them and all that. And especially when Boston traded him to the Yankees. Like,
And when he supposedly called his shot
yes.
for the home run.
Gosh,
That
I
would
could see
that
the
would have been
tweets
epic.
and the videos and the memes. Like,
Yeah, that would have been epic. Anything with Babe Ruth. I actually didn't have that on my list. I'm trying to. I have another Yankee story that I'm trying to find an article for, but I'll just throw some out there. I'll stick with some Yankees.
okay.
The Mr. November home run, Derek Jeter.
Yes.
That would have been epic.
Wow.
Also, his flip play. The flip play against the Oakland A's.
Yep.
This one would have sucked as a Yankees fan, but Twitter would have been buzzing when they blew the 3-0 lead against the Red Sox in 2004. That would have sucked.
Yeah.
I have another baseball one. Barry Bonds breaking the all-time home run record.
I could see that.
Not really because people would have been like, oh my gosh, he's the greatest player of all time. Because they would have been, oh, it's steroids. And we would just, could you imagine all the articles that were like, Barry Bonds broke the record, but he also broke the game.
Yeah.
Where do you, real quick, where do you stand on like steroids guys getting in the Hall of Fame?
I mean, I could go on for probably a couple minutes with that, but just as far as
Well, then I'll save that for a topic.
yeah, do that.
That works. What else do I have on my list? I finally found the article. Well, let me get into it. Do you remember the Reggie Jackson and Billy Martin fight at Fenway Park?
No.
People forget. Also, Billy Martin got hired and fired 6 times as the manager by George Steinbrenner. By the third time, Twitter just would have been on fire, let alone 6 times. So there was a famous game. Billy Martin and Reggie Jackson hated each other. So there was a game in Boston where they were losing like 9-4, and Reggie was in right field, and he kind of lazily went for a ball, and he didn't get it. And Billy Martin liked when his players hustled. So Billy Martin goes to take him out middle of the game. So he sends Paul Blair out to right field, and Paul Blair's walking out, and Reggie's looking at him like, what the hell's this guy doing? And Reggie Jackson's, he's got a big ego. So Paul Blair goes out to right field, and Reggie's like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, I'm playing right field now. He's like, what do you mean? Why am I coming out of the game? And Paul Blair's like, listen, I don't know. You got to go talk to Billy. He just told me to come out. And then Reggie Jackson just went in the dugout, and they just started getting in a fight. Jeez. Anything with like the old time Yankees, like there's so many stories of like Yankees players. It's epic.
Another thing for me, believe it or not, it's back to basketball. Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game.
I had that.
That
would have been epic. I would love to see video from that. Like, I don't even care if we didn't have Twitter. I just want to see the video.
He also had a ridiculous amount of other stats too. That
He
averaged on top of the 100 points.
He averaged like 50 points a game in like 2 different seasons.
And then he averaged he had like 50 rebounds a game. Like
it's like video game numbers that we put up. The OJ car chase would have been epic. A-Rod's first contract with the Rangers when he signed for like 157, because at that point like 100 million was rare.
Yeah, it was rare.
157. LeBron being drafted, I would imagine that would have been like the Zion buzz.
Yeah. No, it definitely would have been. I was almost gonna say the decision, but like I think things started to creep up a little bit with social media.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's pretty close. I don't. Yeah, because Twitter wasn't Twitter back then.
Right.
That it's just a whole. other
Twitter
thing now.
wasn't Twitter back then.
The Immaculate Reception, Franco Harris.
Okay.
What
Oh.
else do I have?
Vince Carter dunk contest.
Oh, that's true. That's a good one. Also, Vince Carter dunking on over that guy in the Olympics.
Olympics.
The best dunk of all time. Best in-game dunk of all
Yes.
time. By far. I have 4 others. The Tanya Harding incident in the Olympics, where she shattered the other girl's leg.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I'm forgetting her other name. Tiger Woods sex scandal, and when Elon Origin broke his car with a golf club, that would have been epic.
The
Miracle
memes.
on Ice.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Miracle on Ice would have been epic.
there would have been a whole revolution with that.
Oh my gosh. That would have been one of the best patriotic days in internet history. And then the last one, maybe the best one, when Mike Tyson bit off part of Evander Holyfield's ear in a boxing match.
Oh god, the
The
angles.
videos,
that you
oh
would have
my
seen.
gosh.
Oh,
The
man.
memes of Mike Tyson biting his ear. Oh my gosh. Mike Tyson, it's scariest guy in the internet. Scariest guy. If you have a moment that you wish was Twitter was around for, or that we had the internet for, let us know. Mike, one of my favorite non-sport ones that would have been was when George Bush got a shoe thrown at him in a press conference.
You love that. See,
I
every
do.
freaking
I
time.
think the video is just hysterical, but the memes of Twitter would have been epic.
Oh man. Yeah. I'm only thinking of disasters that are happening as far as Twitter being a part of it, but I'm trying to
love
think
Twitter.
of non-events. That could be something. That could be a topic next
The whole
week for us.
Bill Clinton scandal. Oh,
Twitter would not recover.
no, it wouldn't. But that's enough talk for Twitter for one day. It is now time for Take It. So, Mike, for Take It. I originally had a different one.
Sorry.
What?
Well, it's just I opened a beer and right in the middle of it, and I feel like the edit is gonna be a little late on that, but that's okay. I'll just include it. Whatever.
You got this. So, it's Thanksgiving weekend. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how I feel about this. But let's debate it on the podcast.
Oh no.
When does Christmas start?
Matt,
Yeah.
I was originally gonna start off with today. Is starting to singing "Walking in a Winter Wonderland." Here comes Santa Claus. So I guess based on my singing, that should have happened.
Yes.
Christmas should start the day after Thanksgiving.
But it's already Christmas season, so you're wrong.
No.
Yeah. Oh, you're wrong.
No.
No,
Let me tell
Christmas starts November 1st.
How can we start off by saying that, we should be thankful during this month of November, and yet, we want to fill the Christmas spirit up?
Yes, exactly. You're explaining it right now.
No.
Christmas has a spirit.
Christmas spirit should be after Thanksgiving. You can't
No.
overlap being thankful for Thanksgiving and being thankful for
Oh,
Christmas.
that's not true. That's not true. Not true at all. Christmas, if you wait until after Thanksgiving to prepare for Christmas, there's a possibility you're not going to be ready for Christmas.
How could you not be ready for Christmas? You literally have 24 days.
No, it's not possible.
You have 3 weekends for you to put up the tree, put up the deck. Okay. And there's also people too, Matt, you and I both understand this and realize this because we've seen it. There's people that literally put Christmas decorations up after Halloween. That's
Good.
whack.
Good. They should.
That's whack.
No. Okay, so you just said yourself. You have 3 weekends. Let's
Right.
just say you have 3 weekends. One weekend, getting a tree, decorating the house. That's a weekend
Right
itself.
after Thanksgiving.
Okay, that's one weekend.
Right.
Let's say you use one weekend to maybe get some presents and stuff.
Black Friday.
Okay. I think. Anyway. No, I had a third thought and I just
Okay.
lost it.
All right, go ahead.
What was my third thought? Okay, then you have to do some fun Christmas activities.
Okay.
Go looking for Christmas lights.
Okay. So
Go look at whatever Christmas activity there is. That's a weekend in itself. And then boom, it's Christmas. What if something pops up one weekend and you can't go Christmas shopping?
okay. So are you just like, did you just recently got married and like moved into a house and you're trying to like figure out all this stuff? Like that is probably the only time I could see you planning ahead for Christmas is before Thanksgiving, is you just got married or you somehow moved into a house with a significant other. And like, because the amount of things you accumulate, Matt, you know the tubs that are in your attic or in your basement, like you have too much that you're thinking to yourself, damn, I really don't need to use all this.
But you gotta plan ahead. What if you go to put your Christmas lights out and half the lights don't work? We did that this year. We got our Christmas lights out for a Christmas tree. None of them work. We have to now go get new Christmas lights. You probably
didn't treat the Christmas lights pretty well as far as packaging.
But sometimes the lights just run out.
I have never for this stuff. My parents have never had that experience before, so I think you're just throwing in a wrench in the plan.
No,
as far as
that's actually like legit. We have to get all new Christmas lights.
Do you get a fake tree or a real tree?
We get a real tree.
Okay, so that's probably one of the inconsistencies here,
but real trees are so much better.
They are, but they're a mess. I have to admit.
That's true.
They are a mess.
Yes.
Especially with the carpet.
For facts. Let me throw this out.
Okay.
How many days do you need to prepare for Thanksgiving?
A day.
Okay, perfect. I was going to say like 2 days. There we go. Here's when to get in the Thanksgiving mood, you do two things. In a normal year, you text your family members and see what you need to make and who's hosting Thanksgiving. You make the food. You have Thanksgiving. Boom, Thanksgiving over. You can't plan for Christmas in 3 days. You kidding me? You know how long Christmas shopping, you know how long it takes to come up with ideas to get presents for people?
So is it appropriate for Bath and Body Works to release their new candle scents and brands before Thanksgiving?
As much as they suck, yes, it is. You. That was awful. Okay, let me throw this out you.
All right.
Let me throw this out there for you. So this year, with some of my friends, we're doing a virtual Secret Santa.
Cool.
We are doing it on December 13th.
You can do it then.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Before Thanksgiving, we had to communicate with each other to set up our elf circle.
Okay.
And names get drawn. I think names got drawn today, actually.
Cool.
Yes. If you're doing something earlier before Christmas, like not everyone does everything on the 25th. Some people have to celebrate Christmas before Christmas in early December. So you have to plan in November to get ready for your Secret Santa or for your Christmas party or whatever it is.
But how could you celebrate Christmas if you're only planning for Christmas?
What?
So you're talking about you're celebrating Christmas December 13th, but yet you have to plan it in November.
Yes, because you don't have enough time after Thanksgiving.
I would not consider that celebrating Christmas because you're planning for celebrating Christmas in December.
What do you mean you're not celebrating Christmas?
Because you're literally
celebrating Christmas with each other on Zoom. We're doing it on Zoom.
Right. When are you doing it?
Like December, the weekend of the 13th.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not celebrating
Christmas. So you're still
Christmas?
doing it after Thanksgiving.
Yes, but what I'm saying is we had a plan in November who wants to be in the Secret Santa, how are we going to do this, how are we going to get them their presents. We couldn't wait till after Thanksgiving because then we'd only have like one weekend to get presents and to mail it to the people.
But you asked me, when do you start celebrating Christmas?
When does Christmas start?
Okay, so
yes. Christmas season starts November 1st.
So just because a game starts on Friday doesn't mean you start preparing for it on Friday. You can start preparing for it on Monday.
Yeah. You're making my point for me.
No, it's not.
Yes, you are.
You're saying you're trying to celebrate Christmas in November. You want to start playing Christmas music. You want to get the decorations out.
Yeah.
You don't start celebrating Christmas until after Thanksgiving. Let me ask you this. Your Christmas decorations. How many of your Christmas decorations have snow?
A good majority.
When does it snow?
Can snow in October.
Yeah. But not as much as it is in December. You have more of a guarantee.
Do you know how much it snows in November?
Matt, it has not. I blame global warming for this. It has not snowed. It snowed a little bit, but not significant enough to be like, oh, it's like Christmas. It's not. I still see the leaves in colors. Usually the leaves should be off by that point if you want to start celebrating Christmas.
Okay, so let me throw that football analogy back at you. So let's say you have a football game on a Friday night. The week before, you start practicing.
Right.
When did football season start? Did it start on the game or did it start when you practice?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So you're just saying, practice doesn't. So meanwhile, when I go to play baseball, I can't say that baseball doesn't start until the first game. Practice the month before, that doesn't count.
So what counts as the off season?
Off season, you're training.
Right.
But when you get a month before, you start practicing as a team. You start getting in the mood for baseball.
Let's talk about
you start getting in the mood for Christmas November 1st because you have to plan out everything to make sure you have enough time to get everything done.
after you literally just celebrated Halloween on the 31st.
Yeah. Listen,
Matt.
I love people say I don't like Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving.
Listen,
Thanksgiving's like a top 3 holiday for me.
Matt,
but you don't need to prepare as long for Thanksgiving as you do for Christmas.
Matt, I will give you this, and this is, be careful walking outside your bedroom tonight because I'm not sure if your head's gonna fit there. You have convinced me.
That was uncalled for. The fuck was that?
Matt, you have convinced me that I am able to start celebrating the day after Thanksgiving. Usually I would wait until December 2nd.
Because your birthday is December 1st.
Hell yeah, it is. Why the hell would I try to celebrate something else when I can celebrate my own thing?
Well, now whose head's not going to fit through the boom, roasted right back at you, bitch.
Oh, man, making a list and checking it twice. Well, Matt, speaking of my birthday next Tuesday,
yes.
Do you feel like you have anything more to share? Because I could start naming all the Bath and Body Works stuff again.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. Number one, how dare you?
How dare you? Well, speaking of my birthday, and I hate to announce it myself, but as you are listening to this podcast on Friday, or hopefully Saturday, or hopefully Sunday, or hopefully Monday, Tuesday, December 1st, I am celebrating a quarter of a century, believe it or not. I am getting older as the days go by. You start seeing it in the podcast.
Do you know what your quarter life crisis is yet?
Probably continuing doing a podcast.
Wow. I see how it is.
No, I'm kidding. Probably, I don't know. Maybe we'll pick that for me next week in the podcast.
Okay.
Let's pick a quarter life crisis for me.
Oh, perfect.
I'm putting that in the show topics for next week. Okay, getting to the point. We are actually live streaming on Facebook Live next Tuesday at 3 o'clock. The reason being, for all you gamer nerds out there, there is a Fortnite event happening at 4 o'clock, which the rumors are coming up saying it could potentially change the game forever. I feel like that happens every season, but
I think they say that for every update.
Right. We will be there live streaming, so you are more than welcome to hop on Facebook Live. We'll be there from like 3 to maybe like 6, depending on the time. We do have to record a podcast, so we'll be in between somewhat, but
damn, we do.
We do have to think about that. I was excited for it.
Yes.
But feel free to stop by, leave a comment. Matt, we'll actually host the inaugural stream on our Twitch channel.
Yes.
You have seen us on our YouTube channel live beforehand. We are deciding to make the jump to Twitch, so we will start working on it, making sure it's all good to go.
I don't know exactly what our name will be, but we'll tweet it out beforehand.
Yeah, we'll be good to go.
Yep.
But usually, I mean, if you want to stop by, say happy birthday, it's probably the Facebook Live option is probably the best.
Yep. I might have a surprise during the live stream.
The hell?
We'll play that. I'm working on it.
I'm the wicked wiener. But speaking of social media, make sure you follow us on our social media if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Matt, I will not speak for the both of us, but I'll certainly speak the fact that there is a lot of good things that are coming up within at least the new year or within the next couple of weeks. So I think you and I are both ready for some big things that are coming up.
Absolutely.
And
always got to spice things up. Variety is the spice of life.
Hell yeah, my friend. And I guess by the time you listen to the next episode, we will be in December, so that will be the time you can celebrate Christmas. So
I'm already started. Be safe today on Black Friday.
Please.
And Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday is Monday.
Get ready for Cyber Monday. It's going to be insane. Websites are probably going to crash. Don't be that person that starts complaining that you can't get your thing on Cyber Monday. Everyone is going to be online. So just deal with it.
And please be mindful of your postal workers. They are humans too. So just because it's 2-day shipping doesn't mean that they are not overloaded with work based on Amazon packages.
Correct. If you get your package in 3 days, you don't need to send an email.
Right. Specifically, yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Matt, go ahead, throw it, end it, because we'll switch roles. I'll go for it. So.
All right, that concludes today's episode of the Funny Business Podcast. We will see you all next week.
Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe, everyone.
No, I said it first.
I don't care. I said it last. Stay safe, everyone.